Okay, today is the 3rd of August. We come to Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 37, Culatanhasankhaya Sutta, the shorter discourse on the destruction of craving. Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in the eastern park, in the palace of Migara's mother. Then Sakadeva Raja went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, he stood at one side and asked, Noble Sir, how in brief is a monk liberated by the destruction of craving, one who has reached the ultimate end, the ultimate security from bondage, the ultimate holy life, the ultimate goal, one who is foremost among gods and humans? And the Buddha replied, Here, Devaraja, a ruler of gods, a monk has heard that nothing is worth adhering to. When the monk has heard that nothing is worth adhering to, he directly knows everything. Having directly known everything, he fully understands everything. Having fully understood everything, whatever feeling he feels, whether pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, he abides contemplating impermanence in those feelings, contemplating fading away, contemplating cessation, contemplating relinquishment. Contemplating thus, he does not cling to anything in the world. When he does not cling, he is not agitated. When he is not agitated, he personally attains Nibbana. He understands birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived, what had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being. Briefly, it is in this way, ruler of gods, that a monk is liberated by the destruction of craving, one who has reached the ultimate end, the ultimate security from bondage, the ultimate holy life, the ultimate goal, one who is foremost among gods and humans. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha explains how a monk is liberated, and the Buddha says the monk understands that nothing is worth adhering to, attaching to, and then having understood that, whatever feeling he feels, he knows that it is impermanent, and because of that, he does not cling to anything in the world. He does not cling to anything, because anything, the normal, ordinary person, anything that gives him pleasure, anything that gives him happiness, in other words, pleasant feeling, he will cling to. Anything that gives him suffering, he's averse to it. But this monk who has cultivated himself, he knows that the things in the world that give us happiness, those things that make us stay on in samsara, because worldly pleasures, those things in the world that give us pleasure, when we enjoy it, there is a tendency to crave for it. But for a monk who has developed his mind, he is able not to crave for worldly things. Why? Because the Buddha's teaching is that the monk is supposed to attain jhana. When a monk attains jhana, he experiences a pleasure and a happiness which surpasses worldly happiness. That being the case, he does not cling to worldly happiness because he has a higher happiness. And also because the mind is so strong and also when the mind attains jhana, the hindrance of sensual desire is eliminated. So he is no more in the easily caught by Mara. Mara can catch us at the sixth sense basis by letting us see beautiful forms, hearing beautiful sounds, smells, taste, touch, and thoughts. So that is the way. So a monk, if he does not cling to anything in the world, then he is not agitated. The mind is very peaceful, equanimous, and he can attain Nibbana. Then Sakka Devaraja, delighting and rejoicing in the Blessed One's words, paid homage to the Blessed One, and keeping him on his right, he vanished at once. Now on that occasion, the Venerable Mahamoggallana was sitting not far from the Blessed One. Then he considered, did that spirit penetrate to the meaning of the Blessed One's words when he rejoiced, or did he not? Suppose I found out whether he did or not. Then just as quickly as a strong man might extend his flexed arm, or flex his extended arm, the Venerable Mahamoggallana vanished from the palace of Migara's mother in the eastern park and appeared among the gods of the 33, Tavatimsa heaven. Now on that occasion, Sakka Devaraja was furnished and endowed 100-fold with the 5 kinds of heavenly music, and he was enjoying it in the pleasure park of the single lotus. When he saw the Venerable Mahamoggallana coming in the distance, he dismissed the music, went to the Venerable Mahamoggallana and said to him, "Come, good Sir Moggallana, welcome, good Sir Moggallana. It is long, good Sir Moggallana, since you found an opportunity to come here. Sit down, good Sir Moggallana, this seat is ready." The Venerable Mahamoggallana sat down on the seat made ready, and Sakka took a low seat and sat down at one side. The Venerable Mahamoggallana then asked him, "Kosya, how did the Blessed One state to you in brief deliverance through the destruction of craving? It would be good if we might also get to hear that statement." Let's stop here for a moment. You notice here, when Venerable Mahamoggallana was invited to sit down, Sakka Devaraja took a lower seat. These devas, they have great respect for these arahants. And the Venerable Mahamoggallana called him Kosya. Kosya is one of the personal names or nicknames of the Sakka Devaraja. It seems the meaning is the owl. I don't know why they call him the owl. Good Sir Moggallana, we are so busy, we have so much to do, not only with our own business, but also with the business of the gods of the 33. Besides, good Sir Moggallana, what is well heard, well learned, well attended to, well remembered, does not vanish all of a sudden. Good Sir Moggallana, it once happened that war broke out between the gods, devas, and the asuras. Stop here for a moment. The devas are those devas under Sakka Devaraja, and the asuras are another type of deva in the heaven of the 33, which constantly fight with them. In that war, the devas won, and the asuras were defeated. When I had won that war and returned from it as a conqueror, I had the Vajrayanta palace built. Good Sir Moggallana, the Vajrayanta palace has 100 towers, and each tower has 700 upper chambers, and each upper chamber has 7 nymphs, and each nymph has 7 maids. Would you like to see the loveliness of the Vajrayanta palace? Good Sir Moggallana. The Venerable Mahamoggallana consented in silence. I'll stop here for a moment. Maybe I continue. Then Sakka Devaraja and the divine King Vesavana went to the Vajrayanta palace, giving precedence to the Venerable Mahamoggallana. Stop here for a moment. This King Vesavana is the king of the Yakas. King of the Yakas. The Yaka Devaraja is Vesavana. When the maids of Sakka saw the Venerable Mahamoggallana coming in the distance, they were embarrassed and ashamed, and they went each into their own rooms. Just as a daughter-in-law is embarrassed and ashamed on seeing her father-in-law, so too, when the maids of Sakka saw the Venerable Mahamoggallana coming, they were embarrassed and ashamed, and they went each into their own rooms. Then Sakka Devaraja and the divine King Vesavana had the Venerable Mahamoggallana walk all over and explore the Vajrayanta palace. See, good Sir Moggallana, this loveliness of the Vajrayanta palace. See, good Sir Moggallana, this loveliness of the Vajrayanta palace. And Venerable Mahamoggallana said, it does the Venerable Kosya credit as one who has formerly made merit. And whenever human beings see anything lovely, they say, sirs, it does credit to the gods of the 33. It does the Venerable Kosya credit as one who has formerly made merit. Stop here for a moment. So this Sakadevaraja, having done a lot of good deeds in the past, now he is born as Devaraja in this heaven of the 33. He's enjoying life. If you look at the description, his palace has 100 towers, and each tower has 700 upper chambers, and each upper chamber has 7 nymphs, and each nymph has 7 maids. So if the nymphs are supposed to be his wives. So if you multiply 100 towers by 700 upper chambers by 7 Devis, you get 490,000 Devis. So he's got 500,000 wives. Not to mention the maids. Maids number about 3.5 million. So you see his great blessing. Then the Venerable Mahamoggallana considered thus: this spirit is living much too negligently. What if I stirred up a sense of urgency in him? Then the Venerable Mahamoggallana performed such a feat of supernormal power that with the point of his toe he made the Vejayanta palace shake and quake and tremble. Sakha and the divine king Vesavana and the gods of the 33 were filled with wonder and amazement, and they said, Sirs, it is wonderful, it is marvelous, what power and might the recluse has, that with the point of his toe he makes the heavenly region shake and quake and tremble. When the Venerable Mahamoggallana knew that Sakha, ruler of the gods, or Devaraja, was stirred to a sense of urgency with his hair standing on end, he asked him, Kosya, how did the Blessed One state to you in brief deliverance through the destruction of craving? It would be good if we might also get to hear that statement. Stop here for a moment. So you see, when the Venerable Mahamoggallana arrived at the heaven, the first thing he did was to ask Sakha Devaraja to repeat what the Buddha said. But this Devaraja, he wanted to show Venerable Mahamoggallana his beautiful palace and brought him all around. He forgot about the question. So Venerable Mahamoggallana saw that this Devaraja was living in such luxury with 500,000 wives. So he decided to make him a bit frightened. So with his toe, he shook the whole heaven, and this Sakha Devaraja's hair also stood on end. But because they have psychic power, they knew that Venerable Moggallana was the one who did it. And he said, Good Sir Moggallana, I went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, I stood at one side and said, Venerable Sir, how in brief is a monk liberated by the destruction of craving, one who has reached the ultimate end, the ultimate security from bondage, the ultimate holy life, the ultimate goal, one who is foremost among gods and humans? And the Buddha replied. When this was said, Good Sir Moggallana, the Blessed One told me, Hear, ruler of gods, a monk has heard that nothing is worth adhering to. When a monk has heard that nothing is worth adhering to, he directly knows everything. Having directly known everything, he fully understands everything. Having fully understood everything, whatever feeling he feels, whether pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, he abides contemplating impermanence in those feelings, contemplating fading away, contemplating cessation, contemplating relinquishment. Contemplating thus, he does not cling to anything in the world. When he does not cling, he is not agitated. When he is not agitated, he personally attains Nibbana. He understands birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being. Briefly, it is in this way, Devaraja, that a monk is liberated by the destruction of craving. One who has reached the ultimate end, the ultimate security from bondage, the ultimate holy life, the ultimate goal, one who is foremost among gods and humans. That is how the Blessed One stated to me in brief, deliverance through the destruction of craving. Good Sir Moggallana. Stop here for a moment. So you see, this Devaraja, his memory is very good. He can repeat exactly what the Buddha said. Then the Venerable Mahamoggallana delighted and rejoiced in the words of Sakha Devaraja. Then just as quickly as a strong man might extend his flexed arm or flex his extended arm, he vanished from among the gods of the 33 and appeared in the eastern park in the palace of Migara's mother. You see here, these arahants, their psychic power is much greater than the devas. He can just disappear from the heaven of the 33 and immediately appear on earth. Then soon after the Venerable Mahamoggallana had gone, the attendants of Sakadeva Raja asked him, "Good sir, was that your teacher, the Blessed One?" And he replied, "No, good sirs, that was not my teacher, the Blessed One. That was one of my companions in the holy life, Venerable Mahamoggallana." And they said, "Good sir, it is a gain for you that your companion in the holy life has such power and might. Oh, how much more so that the Blessed One is your teacher." Stop here for a moment. So here Sakadeva Raja said Mahamoggallana is his companion in the holy life. Why? Because they have the same teacher, Buddha. So in Chinese, Venerable Mahamoggallana is Sakadeva Raja's Siong Suhia. In the Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 21, we find that Sakadeva Raja, after meeting the Buddha and learning some Dhamma, he became a Sotapanna. So he's also an Arya. Aryans like to listen to the Dhamma. That's why he came to ask the Buddha some more Dhamma. Then the Venerable Mahamoggallana went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, he sat down at one side and asked, "Venerable Sir, does the Blessed One recall stating in brief to a certain one of the renowned spirits with a great following, deliverance to the destruction of craving?" And the Buddha said, "I do recall doing so, Moggallana. Here, Sakadeva Raja came to me, and after paying homage to me, he stood at one side and asked, 'Venerable Sir, how in brief is a monk liberated by the destruction of craving, etc.' And the Buddha said exactly how he replied. That is how I recall stating in brief to Sakadeva Raja, deliverance to the destruction of craving. That is what the Blessed One said. The Venerable Mahamoggallana was satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words." That's the end of the sutta. So this sutta doesn't have that much Dhamma, but it's interesting how Sakadeva Raja is so blessed that he spends his days enjoying himself, entertained by the Devis with 5 kinds of heavenly music in the pleasure park of the single lotus. And he has this huge palace with 500,000 wives.